The only permission you need to win is your own.
Have you ever noticed how there are people who are less prepared, less intelligent, even less hardworking, but who still achieve everything they want, while you, who know you have potential, keep sabotaging yourself, doubting yourself, keeping silent? This is not bad luck. It's a lack of one thing: unshakable self-confidence. Napoleon Hill said that without it, no plan, no talent, and no desire can survive. And maybe that's what's missing for your life to finally take off. The truth is harsh. The world doesn't listen to those who don't impose themselves. It doesn't give opportunities to those who are bent over. And he doesn't respect those who keep apologizing for existing. What you feel today, this feeling of being stuck, of being afraid to expose yourself, of not being able to say yes to yourself, all of this can change radically. And it doesn't take months, nor does it need 1,000 courses. You just need to regain control over what you decide to believe about yourself. And yes, this could still happen today. What you will learn here is not cheap self-help theory. It's the exact step-by-step that ordinary men and women applied to get out of rock bottom and straight into a life of abundance, wealth, motivation, and professional development. And the craziest? They started out just like you, doubting everything, including themselves, but they took a step and everything changed. Now it's your turn. And if you keep watching, you'll understand why this could be the most important turning point in your life. So, subscribe to the channel and activate the bell. This is very important for the growth of this space and to ensure that you receive more content like this, which takes you out of the stagnation zone and puts you on the right path to conscious manifestation. Now take a deep breath, because what you will discover next has the power to change the way you think forever. Napoleon Hill did not see self-confidence as just a characteristic, but as a conscious decision. For him, self-confidence was the invisible root of personal growth and abundance. It was the silent fuel that moved brilliant minds towards wealth and self-improvement. When he wrote about the power of the mind, he made it clear: without self-confidence, no plan, no matter how good it was, would survive the difficulties along the way. This belief was not theory. It was a conviction born from observation of the greatest names in history. Hill believed that self-confidence was a cultivated strength. It is not something that is born with us, but that is built like a muscle. This breaks that old idea that only extroverted people are confident. On the contrary, even the most shy person can, with self-discipline and mental reprogramming, make self-confidence their default state. That's where true personal development comes in, transforming insecurity into unshakable faith in yourself. The author of Who Thinks Gets Rich said that self-confidence was the first visible step in manifesting a successful mindset. And that makes perfect sense. Imagine trying to get rich, achieve professional development, or eliminate limiting beliefs if you don't believe you deserve it or are capable. There is no way to. Positive thinking without self-confidence is like planting in dry land. Nothing flourishes. And if you think you need to wait for something extraordinary to happen to start feeling confident, Hill would tell you, you're waiting in the wrong line. He taught that self-confidence is born before of the result, not after. It comes from the habit of affirming to yourself every day, I am capable, I am worthy, I am the creator of my reality. It is these daily affirmations that shape mental reprogramming and ward off the negative thinking that sabotages our dreams. Hill also associated self-confidence with the power of decision. Making quick, clear decisions, even in the face of doubt, was a sign of someone who controlled their own destiny. And those who don't decide stagnate. Therefore, many rich and successful people, like the ones he studied, were not the smartest in the room, but the most determined. And do you know what they had in common? An unshakable faith in your own ideas. This is pure success mentality. But the most fascinating thing is to see how Hill linked self-confidence to something almost spiritual. He said that when human beings believe in themselves, the universe begins to conspire in their favor. This resonates deeply with the principles of the law of attraction. You begin to manifest new opportunities, new people, new ideas, all because your vibration has changed, all because you finally decided to trust. And perhaps what is most lacking today are not courses, books, or magic formulas, but the courage to assume that you are the miracle itself. And that change begins with a decision. The same decision that Hill preached so much. But how in practice is this silent strength built? how to activate this spark and keep it burning, even on difficult days. That's exactly what you're going to find out about now. The 5 steps to creating self-confidence in practice. Building self-confidence isn't a fluke. It's an intentional, steady, daily process. Napoleon Hill stated that all personal power arises from a clear purpose. And the first step to building this internal strength is precisely that. Knowing exactly what you want in life. It's not a vague desire. It is a powerful internal statement, like a decree vibrating within you. Clarity is the starting point of mental reprogramming. And when it comes to a success mindset, there is no room for doubt. Either you plant certainty or you reap insecurity. The second step is to eliminate what Hill called emotional parasites, limiting beliefs, those inner voices that tell you that you're not good enough, that you won't work out, that this isn't for you. Do you know what they have in common? None of them came from within you. They were installed throughout life, by parents, school, society. And if they entered, they can leave. Techniques such as writing your own beliefs on paper and rewriting them with positive affirmations are already a powerful start to reprogramming. Example: swap. I can't speak in public. For every day I express myself with more clarity and confidence. The third step is perhaps the most neglected: acting despite fear. Hill always said that action is the antidote to fear. Self-confidence doesn't emerge when everything is perfect. It grows stronger precisely when you act despite the internal chaos. This is self-discipline. It's getting up and going, even if you're shaking. It's sending your resume, opening the channel, going live, talking to that person, even when your mind wants to hide. Only those who act transform. Only those who transform manifest. Fourth step: feed the mind with powerful references. Hill studied the richest and most influential men of his time, but not just to imitate them, but to train the brain to accept success as something natural. Today, this can be done with daily reading, but not just any reading. Reading that expands, such as The Power of the Subconscious, The Secret, or the book itself, Who Thinks Gets Rich. Reading is a mental cleansing bath. It's replacing social media rubbish with pure gold. It's saying to your mind, I decide what I believe. Finally, the fifth step is to repeat all of this every day until you become who you really are. Because self-confidence is not borrowed. It is cultivated. It's like water in a plant. If you stop watering it, it dries up. But if you take care of it, nourish it, and protect it, it flourishes. Over time, this confidence becomes your natural tone. You start to think big, attract opportunities, speak confidently, inspire other people. Your vibration changes, and the universe responds with more richness, more abundance, and more personal development. The most impressive thing is that these steps don't ask for anything external. You don't need more money, more time, more contacts. You just need to start. Start however you can, with whatever you have. And that's where the magic happens. When you decide, plant the seeds, even without knowing when the harvest will come. But there is an essential element that few people understand in this process. Napoleon Hill always believed that great achievements are not born from grandiose acts, but from the silent sum of small daily victories. It is these seemingly simple achievements, waking up on time, completing a reading, fulfilling what you promised yourself, that build, layer by layer, the mindset of success. It is there, behind the scenes of the routine, that the power of the mind begins to align with what it wants to manifest. Those who ignore this generally live waiting for the big moment, and that moment never comes. One of the biggest traps that block personal growth is believing that the big leap is only worth celebrating. This is a brutal mistake. Every choice you make in your favor, saying no to procrastination, staying focused for 30 minutes, drinking water when you want a soda, is a victory. And more than that, it is a direct reinforcement of your mental reprogramming. You are teaching your brain that delivers what it promises, and that, over time, turns into a confidence that no one can take away from you. Imagine a staircase with 100 steps. Each small habit fulfilled is like climbing one of them. Ignoring these steps because they are too small is the same as hoping to reach the top without moving your feet. Small victories build momentum, and momentum creates consistency. It is with this consistency that true motivation is born. Motivation that does not depend on momentary inspiration, but on a commitment to one's own personal development. You know what else? These small victories are contagious. When you start to conquer what previously seemed too simple, something changes inside you. Suddenly, recording that video you've been putting off seems more possible. Talking to that person becomes less scary. Making important decisions no longer causes so much panic. The mind understands. If I achieve that, I can achieve this too. And this cycle grows until it becomes uncontrollable. The secret is not to underestimate the power of micro-commitment. Write 3 affirmations when you wake up. Meditate for 5 minutes. Make a list of 3 things you are grateful for. Read a page from a self-help book. These small gestures made every day have more transformative power than a big motivational event once a year. Repetition takes root, and it is these roots that support true self-confidence. If you look at the routines of highly successful people, you'll see that they all have little rituals that they can't give up. Not because they are superstitious, but because they understand that growth doesn't happen on stage. It happens behind the scenes. And that is liberating, because you don't have to wait for life to change to start acting. You start with what is within your reach today. And today, everything you need is already there with you. Now think, what if you started treating each small victory as a celebration of the new version of you? What if you saw each action completed as a brick in the construction of your own abundance? This mindset changes everything. But there is an even more powerful element which can speed up this process absurdly. Visualize yourself as already successful. Napoleon Hill said that whatever the mind can conceive and believe, it can accomplish. But there is a detail that few people understand. You need to see yourself as already being who you want to become. There's no point dreaming big if, internally, you still see yourself as small. Manifestation begins in the invisible. It is what you visualize in the silence of your mind that determines what will appear in your external reality. The power of the mind does not respond to maybe. It responds to this is how I am. This practice is not a pretend game. It's mental engineering. It's drawing in detail the most prosperous version of yourself and connecting emotionally with it. Hill recommended closing your eyes and imagining yourself in possession of the desired success. The car, the house, the bank account, the lifestyle. But not just see. Feel as if it were already real. Because for the subconscious, what you feel intensely becomes an order that he is committed to fulfilling even if he has to move mountains. And why does this work? Because your brain doesn't know how to differentiate between imagination and reality. When you see yourself acting with confidence, attracting opportunities, speaking with power, making decisions like a leader, your body begins to behave as if that were already true. This changes your posture, your voice, your attitudes, and little by little, your reality begins to reflect this new frequency. This is one of the biggest secrets of self-improvement. Practical example. Before starting your day, stop for 2 minutes. Imagine closing big deals, being applauded, receiving messages of gratitude, feeling light, free, abundant. Feel the energy of this version of you that is already living what you want to live. Take a deep breath, say, this is already mine. Now go live your day, not as someone who seeks, but as someone who already is. This simple exercise, repeated every day, can transform your energy and accelerate your manifestation like you never imagined. And if this is making sense to you, listen to me carefully. Seeing yourself as successful is not arrogance. It is spiritual responsibility to your potential. The universe does not reward those who wait. It rewards those who put themselves in the right place mentally, before the world even notices. So, if this content is helping you, take the opportunity now to like this video and subscribe to the channel. This strengthens our growth and ensures that you receive more teachings like this, which can change your way of thinking and living. Now let's continue. Do you know what happens when you start to see yourself as successful? You start to bother. Criticisms emerge. The people around are surprised. And often their opinion can shake your internal construction. Therefore, there is something you need to deeply understand if you want to continue growing. Napoleon Hill was clear. All unfair criticism is a compliment in disguise. When you start to grow, change, enrich yourself inside and out, the discomfort this creates in those who don't move can come disguised as an opinion. Criticism, in fact, is almost never about you. It is a mirror of the other person's limitations. And if you don't understand this soon, you'll end up backsliding every time someone frowns at your dreams. It is no longer possible to give in to those who never dared to leave their place. The fear-conditioned mind interprets criticism as a personal attack, but those who develop self-confidence understand what is said does not have the power to define you. It's you who chooses what goes in and what stays out. And that is the mindset of success, knowing how to filter what deserves attention and what should be discarded as noise. Hill said that criticism from the weak should not undermine the progress of the strong. And that is worth its weight in gold, especially when you are building a new self. There is a little spoken secret. When someone criticizes you, they are revealing more about themselves than about you. Criticism is often an involuntary confession of envy, fear, or frustration. When someone says, "This isn't going to work," what they are essentially saying is, "I could never make it work." The power of the mind allows you to hear this with compassion, not anger, and move forward with even more determination. That's what mental reprogramming is, exchanging reaction for awareness. Want a practical tip? Create a mental shield every time you expose yourself. Before an important decision or a post that scares you, say to yourself, "Other people's opinion is theirs. My truth is mine, and only that matters now." This simple exercise can prevent criticism from paralyzing you, because personal growth requires boldness, and you can't live a great life for fear of displeasing someone who never had the courage to try. And more, learn to use criticism as fuel. Take what has been said, analyze it without ego. See if there is anything useful. If there is, improve it. If there is none, discard with gratitude. This is self-improvement in practice. Criticism can be a blessing when you have a strong enough mindset to turn it to your advantage. It's not about silencing the world. It's about making so much noise with your results that no criticism can last long. Many people give up on professional development because of half a dozen negative comments. You give up on a channel, a course, a company, a life change, all for fear of not being accepted. But the truth is one. Those who have self-confidence don't need permission from others to shine. And when you understand this, nothing stops you. Nothing limits you anymore. Nothing silences you anymore. Now think, if even the biggest names in history have been criticized, from Jesus to Elon Musk, from Gandhi to Oprah, why wouldn't you be? The difference is that they knew how to protect their energy. And there is a silent but extremely powerful factor that can reinforce or destroy this inner strength. Understand the influence of internal language on self-confidence. The way you talk to yourself in silence defines the quality of life you manifest. Napoleon Hill always pointed out that thought is creative, but it's not just any thought. It's the one you repeat quietly, every day, in the back of your consciousness, while the world doesn't even notice. This is the internal language, and it can be your greatest ally or your invisible executioner, because the mind believes everything you say to it with emotion. And if you repeat that you are not capable, guess what? She will prove to you that she is right. Hill said we are the architects of our destiny, and if the building is falling apart, maybe it's time to review what's being said inside your head. Language like, "I'm terrible at this. This isn't for me. I'm unlucky. Things are hard for me." All of this shapes your reality like a self-fulfilling prophecy. Negative thinking is not just harmless complaining. It is a direct command to the universe. Now exchange this for conscious, powerful affirmations, charged with energy and intention. I am worthy. I am growing. Abundance accompanies me. Every day I become stronger and more prosperous. This is not self-deception. It's mental reprogramming. It's you taking control of your identity. Because if you want to grow, get rich, develop your success mindset, the basis is simple. Talk to yourself as you would talk to someone you love deeply. A transformative practice is to create a personal mantra that you repeat in the morning and before bed. It might be something like, "Today I act with courage. I am guided by wisdom. I attract opportunities. The universe supports me." Write on the mirror, on your cell phone, on the wall. Read it out loud. Record and listen. This practice fuels your motivation and weakens limiting beliefs. And the more you repeat it, the more your mind believes it. And the more you believe, the more you manifest. Have you ever noticed how we speak to others more kindly than we speak to ourselves? We often comfort a friend by saying, "It's going to be okay." But we say to ourselves, "You always screw up." This needs to change. Internal language is a reflection of your self-esteem. And when it improves, everything around it starts to improve too. Your vibration rises, your energy field changes, and reality responds with more abundance. Hill also reminds us that self-knowledge is the foundation of self-confidence. And to truly know yourself, you need to listen to what is being said in your own mind. Write down your thoughts for a week. Observe patterns. Rewrite, reformulate, reprogram. This simple technique can show how much you've been sabotaging yourself, or how much you've been strengthening yourself without even realizing it. It all begins and ends with what you say to yourself when no one else is listening. Now imagine the impact of turning that inner voice into your greatest ally. Imagine waking up every day with a mind that drives you, that encourages you, that strengthens you. This is real personal growth. But there is something that can speed up this process more than any words. You may be doing everything right, reading, affirming, visualizing. But if your environment is not aligned with your personal growth, it will pull you back without you even realizing it. Napoleon Hill firmly warned about this. The environment shapes the mind, and the mind shapes the results. This means that the place where you live, the people you live with, the sounds you hear, even the objects around you, all of this is strengthening or weakening you, even in silence. Many believe that willpower is enough to overcome any internal challenge, but it's not quite like that. If your environment screams scarcity, fear, negativity, criticism, chaos, how can you expect your success mindset to flourish in there? Self-confidence needs fertile soil. It needs the right stimuli. You need protection against everything that drains your energy and reinforces limiting beliefs. And this shielding begins with simple but powerful choices. Want a direct example? Look around you now. Does your room, your workplace, convey organization or disorder, inspiration or weight? Physical clutter often reflects mental chaos, and reorganizing your external environment can be the first practical step towards reorganizing your internal world. Hill believed in the power of vibration. And yes, even the space where you sleep or work vibrates energy, and this directly influences your mental reprogramming. What about people? Here is one of the hardest and most liberating truths you will ever hear. You don't need to keep around those who constantly undermine your confidence. This goes for friendships, family, colleagues. If someone makes you feel small, guilty, or insufficient every time they share a plan or a victory, beware. This is not affection. It is sabotage in disguise. Surrounding yourself with people who believe in you, who encourage you, who celebrate your achievements. This is a direct investment in self-confidence. Hill recommended that everyone have an invisible support group. He called it the Alliance of Masterminds, even if it was mentally. How about building yours? Imagine having a mental conversation with big names that inspire you. It could be Napoleon Hill himself, Steve Jobs, Elon Musk, or someone in your real life who strengthens you. Every time you feel doubt, imagine what that person would say. This simple exercise builds internal strength like few things in the world. And if your current environment is difficult to change, start by changing your energy routine. Use headphones to hear powerful affirmations. Fill your walls with empowering phrases. Read books that reinforce your mindset. Silence the external noise with internal knowledge. You can transform the mental environment even when you cannot change the physical environment. This is mind power in action. This is conscious manifestation. Now, when the environment begins to cooperate with your thoughts and emotions, everything falls into place. But there is an even more direct, practical, and powerful resource that you can apply every single day to boost your self-confidence and continue evolving. Get to know daily reaffirmation strategies. Napoleon Hill said that the conscious repetition of positive thoughts was one of the quickest ways to shape destiny. And when we talk about self-confidence, there is no more powerful tool than daily reaffirmation. It's not about saying anything automatically, like a robot. It's about declaring, with feeling, the truth of what you is still becoming. The mind believes in emotion, not in the perfection of words. A good strategy is to create affirmations that directly activate your personal growth and professional development. Phrases like, I am capable of overcoming any obstacle. The universe conspires in favor of my dreams. Every cell in my body vibrates with abundance. My mind is programmed to get rich. They are like seeds planted in the fertile soil of the subconscious. Repeating them daily is like watering those seeds until you see a new identity blossom. The best time to practice is when you wake up and before going to sleep. At this moment, the brain is in more receptive waves, which enhances mental reprogramming. It can be out loud looking in the mirror or mentally with your eyes closed. The important thing is that there is presence, feeling, focus. Imagine yourself with the mindset of success already in place, feeling proud of what you are building, even if it is still behind the scenes. Another powerful strategy is to record your own affirmations in your voice and listen to them throughout the day, especially in low moments. This reinforces the presence of your new identity and creates a shield against negative thinking. It's like walking around with a strengthened version of yourself, speaking in your ear whenever you need it. And the more you listen, the more it becomes true in your vibration, and everything that vibrates manifests. You can also associate affirmations with existing habits. For example, while brushing your teeth, mentally repeat, "I am becoming stronger." While walking, think, "Each step takes me closer to success." Before entering a meeting, assert, "I am confident, I am clear, I am respected." This technique is called affirmative anchoring and has the power to integrate positive thinking into your real routine without extra effort. Reaffirmations also work great when written down. Get a notebook just for this. Write the same sentence 10 times a day. Do this for 21 days, then change the phrase to another. You will notice subtle but profound changes in the way you behave, speak, and decide. Believe me, self-confidence is a consequence of commands you give to your internal system. If you feed garbage, you reap fear. Feeds with power, reaps courage. And the more these reaffirmations become part of your routine, the more you begin to feel like a new version is awakening within you. A version that previously seemed distant but now begins to take up real space in your life. But what happens when this new version begins to act in the world? That's where everything changes. Napoleon Hill was a great collector of overcoming stories. He interviewed more than 500 millionaires, visionaries, and leaders. And what caught his attention most was not the genius of these people, but the unshakable faith they had in themselves. A faith that was often born in the midst of chaos. Like the story of Henry Ford, who was discredited by engineers, rejected by investors, and mocked by the media, until his silent conviction silenced them all. The key? Pure, raw self-confidence. Another emblematic example is Thomas Edison. He failed more than 1,000 times trying to create the electric light bulb. Anyone would have given up. But Edison saw each attempt as a step forward. Hill said that Edison talked to failures like someone talking to old friends. This is only possible when self-confidence is already so ingrained that a mistake doesn't knock you down. It teaches you. And that is personal growth raised to maximum power. But don't think that these stories are reserved for historical figures. Ordinary people, like you and me, also lead true internal revolutions when they decide to believe in themselves. A recent example is Carla, a 42-year-old woman who, after decades of saying she was not good enough, decided to start a motivational video channel despite having no experience. At first, she shook with each recording, but in 3 months he was already inspiring thousands of people with his courage. It all started with a decision. I will trust myself. And the case of Raphael, a young man who grew up hearing that he was lazy, stupid, and had no future. He believed this for years, until he discovered the book, Who Thinks Gets Rich. He started writing affirmations every day, imagining himself in a leadership role, changing his internal language and cleaning up toxic friendships. In 2 years, he became manager of a multinational. According to him, the biggest investment he made was in his own mentality. Your favorite quote? I am what I choose to repeat. What these stories show is that no one is born ready. Everyone faces criticism, limitations, fear. But whoever decides to rely on self-confidence as the basis for manifestation begins to change their own destiny. From the moment you act with faith, the universe seems to open doors that were previously invisible. That's the magic of the power of the mind when you find the courage to move forward. And do you know the most beautiful thing? These transformations are just the beginning. Because when you start trusting yourself, you start inspiring others without even realizing it. Your energy changes. Your presence changes. You become a reference. And all of this without having done anything out of the ordinary. He just accessed a power that was always there. The difference? Now you believe him. Now you command. And when this strength becomes a natural part of who you are, something magical happens. You no longer need to remember to trust. Confidence becomes your original state. And that's what we're going to reveal now. Make self-confidence your default state. Napoleon Hill argued that self-confidence should not be a single moment, but an ongoing state of being. When it becomes part of your identity, you no longer need to force yourself to act safely. You and security. You and power. It's not trying to appear confident. You breathe confidence. And when this point is reached, personal growth accelerates. Results appear fluidly and abundance begins to emerge in unexpected ways. But how to make this state natural? The answer lies in repetition and alignment between thought, emotion, and action. When you think positively, feel gratitude, and act courageously, even in small situations, your subconscious understands. This is the new rule of the game. And since the mind is a repetition machine, it will reinforce this behavior until it becomes automatic. This is masterfully applied mental reprogramming. Self-discipline also plays a central role in this process. It's not about rigidity, it's about consistency. It's making decisions aligned with your new identity, even when the old self tries to return. For example, refusing an invitation that doesn't do you any good, even if you previously accepted. It's say yes to opportunities that previously made you afraid, choosing silence rather than reacting with anger. Every small choice reinforces the success mindset that is becoming your default. Another key is live in the present, as if the desired future already existed. This is one of the biggest lessons from Hill and the law of attraction. When you act with the energy of someone who has already won, you attract everything that confirms this vibration. This includes opportunities, people, ideas, synchronicities. The universe moves in favor of those who move with certainty, and certainty comes from self-confidence. When it becomes standard, the field around it changes. It's worth remembering. This state doesn't mean you'll never doubt yourself again. It means that even in doubt, you choose to act. Even in fear, you choose to continue. Even without guarantees, you move forward. And this is exactly what differentiates those who conquer from those who paralyze. It is not an absence of challenge. It is a decision to remain firm despite them. This is the invisible root of true inner strength. And do you know the most incredible thing? When self-confidence becomes a default state, you begin to be surprised by your own courage. Situations that previously paralyzed you now challenge you positively. You start to say yes to life more lightly. Motivation stops being an effort and becomes a natural reflection of who you have become. This is priceless. It's real freedom. It's alignment with your best version. But this transformation only happens when you decide you are ready. Ready to stop waiting for permission. Ready to stop diminishing yourself. Ready to admit that you were born for something great. And if you've made it this far, maybe this moment has already begun, and maybe you're just waiting for something to come true once and for all. Now tell me, after all this, what's still stopping you from getting up strong and starting to act like the best version of yourself? How many opportunities will you still pass up due to a lack of self-confidence? What if, by chance, this video was precisely the sign you asked the universe for? The exact moment when you decide to never diminish yourself again, never to doubt your worth again, never to postpone who you were born to be? You have real tools in your hands, practices, powerful, but none of them will work if you continue treating yourself as if you were weak, as if you didn't deserve to grow. Get rich, manifest a new reality. It's time to stop waiting for approval and start building results. Because life doesn't change with luck. She changes decisively. So I ask you, from today onwards, what will your choice be? Stay stuck in old patterns? Or start right now to apply everything you learned here? The answer is in your hands. And if you are brave enough to choose for yourself, the universe will take care of aligning the rest. He always does this when he sees that his part is being done. If this content touched something inside you, comment below what moved you most. Share your vision, your question, your goal. I want to know. And of course, don't forget to subscribe to the channel and turn on notifications, because the next videos will delve even deeper into the power of the mind, mental reprogramming, and personal development. And you don't want to miss any of it.